Hi folks, welcome back. In our previous video on earned value management, we had explained in detail the concepts of EVM, how to derive the project performance and the variances between the planned and actual performances, and how to arrive at the project forecast. The concepts were also explained using a typical project illustration, if you remember. Now at the end of that video, in our previous video, we had given you a simple exercise to calculate the EVM key measurement components, that is BAC, PV, EV and AC, which stands for budget at completion, planned value, earned value and actual cost. So we had asked you to calculate these from the exercise that was given in the previous video. And once you have it, you would actually, we are also asked you to calculate the other values of the earned value, which is the cost variance, schedule variance, cost performance index, schedule performance index, estimate at complete, estimate to complete, variance at complete and to complete performance index. Now in this video, let us attempt to solve the exercise. The exercise we had given was, just let me open that. So the exercise was actually an ERP implementation project for ABC company is estimated to cost $500,000 with an estimated duration of 40 weeks. At the end of 10 weeks, the project is 20% complete with $150,000 being already spent on the project. Now the exercise that we had given you was to actually identify what is the BAC and the actual cost in this example or in this exercise, and in turn calculate the other things, which is the PV, EV, CV, SV, CPI, SPI, EAC, ETC, TCPI and VAC. Now if you look at this example, so there are some quite obvious things which can be actually seen here. So what is BAC here? BAC is already given for you, so which is 500,000. So BAC is 500,000, and what is the actual cost? Actual cost that is spent at the end of the 10th week, which is $150,000. Correct? That is already given in the problem. So those two you have it. Now, so then how do we calculate now the PV? Now what is PV? PV is nothing but the planned percentage of work that is supposed to be completed at the end of the 10th week into the BAC. So PV would evaluate to $125,000. So the amount of work that was expected to be completed at the end of the 10th week is $125,000. Now what is earned value? How much we have earned at the end of the 10th week? Let's look at it. So earned value is, if you look at the formula, it is actually the actual percentage of complete in terms of the work into the BAC. So how much is the actual percentage work complete at the end of the 10th week? It is 20%. So 20% of 500,000 gives me 100,000. So earned value is just about 100,000. I guess this was quite easy for you to understand. Now with these four basic key performance measurement values, we can now derive the rest of the values as per the point number 2 above, that is all the other values. It is just applying those formula and then getting the actual values. Let's move on. Now I have actually copied the previous values, which is the BAC, PV, EV and the AC here, just for the reference purpose. Now let us say that we wanted to calculate the cost variance now. Now what is cost variance? If you look at the formula, it is earned value minus actual cost. So if you actually substitute the values, you get a value of minus 50,000. Minus 50,000 indicates that the project is already spent in excess of the project worth of the work up to this point. That means the amount of work that is completed is actually less compared to the actual cost. So we have spent more money to actually realize lesser work. Now let's look at the next the variance, with the schedule variance. Schedule variance you can derive by using the formula EV minus PV. Now here it evaluates to minus 25,000. So this negative value indicates the project is lagging behind its planned schedule. So anything negative, if you remember in the previous our video, we had very clearly said that anything negative for this variances values it indicates a bad performance. Now let's look at the cost performance index. So cost performance index is EV divided by AC, which evaluates to 0.67. That means a value of less than 1 indicates overutilization of funds against the actual work. That means we have used more funds to actually complete lesser worth of the project work itself. So in this case, the project is earning $0.67 worth value for every dollar spent. That means for every $1, we are only getting $0.67 of the worth of the project itself. So it's not a good sign. Now let's look at the schedule performance index. So this equates, if you apply the formula, it equates to a value of 0.80. Again, this is less than 1. So a value less than 1 indicates that the project is behind planned schedule and the progress has only been at 80%. So these values clearly gives us a mechanism by which we can easily understand the project performance at the end of the 10th week in this example, right? So far it's not a good sign looking at these values. Now let's look at the some more calculations, and again here I have actually brought the previous calculated values here just as a reference, and let's now calculate the rest of it. Now what is my EAC? EAC is estimate at complete, that is my revised BAC. What could be the revised BAC, which is nothing but how much money, what would be the actual budget that would be required to complete the overall project given the current performance of the project. Now the formula that we used was BAC divided by CPI. Here I have used CPI assuming that CPI to continue same until the project end. That means the team believes that there could be a reasonably the same kind of a cost performance would actually prevail until the end of the project. So if you apply this formula, you get a value of 746,268, which is actually a revised budget. So what was our earlier budget? The planned budget, it was 500,000. Now because of the poor performance until the end of the 10th week, now it is now required that we need to spend 746,268 to complete the overall project. Let's look at what is ETC. ETC is what? ETC is estimate to complete. That means from the 10th week onwards until the project to be completed, we need $596,268 to complete the project. That means from now onwards the funds required would be $596,268. So that is ETC, estimate to complete. Now what is VAC? What is the variance when the project is completed? So variance between what was actually planned in terms of the funds and what was actually the funds that were supposed to be that are supposed to be utilized, or that will be supposed to be utilized. So BAC minus EAC, so which means I also get a negative value here. This means that when the project is actually completed, we may end up in a variance of $246,269. So that means we had to additionally spend about $246,269 from the original planned budget in order to complete the project itself. Now the last one is the TCPI, that is the to complete performance index. Now this number of 1.14 here, it indicates that the project requires a performance which is 1.14 times than the current performance, so that it can catch up with the planned values. That is, it can catch up with the what was actually planned. So that means the performance, the team has to perform at this rate, which is 1.14 times. So that is the TCPI, and this formula and all we have explained actually earlier, so you can refer to my previous video for any of those clarifications. I guess these this example you were able to sort of understand the concepts and how you can realize the earned value, and then using those you can actually report and to your stakeholders about the project performance. Thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to see you in next videos. Thank you.